Howdy, friends. Steve DePoe here for the Rose Realty Team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. 4.5 reasons why FSBOs fail. So for those of you that don't know, a FSBO is a for sale by owner, an owner of a house who's trying to sell their property on their own. Typically, FSBO sellers are trying to sell their property on their own for one real reason, and that's to save the commission. Typical commissions in North Texas Metroplex are around 6%. These are not fixed, and they're not fixed by either the Texas Real Estate Commission or by the brokerage, but they're suggested by the brokerage, and they change from time to time. We've changed them. We've changed listing commission fees on our own from time to time as well. And so the for sale by owner seller, really their main goal is to save that commission. Okay. And I think they sell themselves short, and I'm going to explain to you why. So the first issue is bad pricing. How do they come up with their price? Well, they go to Zillow and get the Zestimate. Zillow's estimates can be off by as much as 30 to 40% sometimes. Okay, so are you interested? Are you willing to sell your house for 40% or 30% or 20% less than it's really worth? I'm going to say no. The other way they get the prices for their house is they say, hey, the person around the block, my friend down the street, the person in the next town sold their house for so much, and my house is so much better or not quite as good or whatever, and that's how they come up with their estimate. They don't have the data, the reams and reams of data that somebody like the Rose Realty Team has in order to properly price your house, either for today or last week or next month. We can accurately predict what your house should sell for because of the reams of data that we have. Lack of marketing. So you're going to get your house and you're going to put it on Zillow, and you're going to put a sign in the front yard. I mean, that's only 1/10 of what, for example, the Rose Realty Team does. With us, we'll put your house on something like 325 websites. We put it in a registry that we have at Keller Williams. We pay for our own marketing, which is anything from Facebook ads to staging to professional photography. I mean, we market the heck out of your property to make sure that it sells in your time frame at your price. Lack of access or no access. This is fascinating to me when you think about it. So let's play with this scenario for just a minute, right? So you're a typical husband and wife. You leave the house at 7 in the morning. You don't get back to 6 at night. So there's 11 hours in the day where nobody can see your house. Now, obviously, so you're not going to let anybody in your house before 7 in the morning. And then let's say let's just be wild and say after 9 o'clock, PM, you're not going to let anybody in your house. So that gives you 3 hours a day where you can market your house, or somebody can get access to your house to take a look at it. 3 hours a day, where if you had listed, for example, with the Rose Realty Team, okay, that 3 hours a day, add that to roughly to the 11 hours a day, we can show your house for 14 hours during the course of a day, okay, as opposed to the 3 hours when you're trying to sell it on your own. So lack of access is important. Now, when we work with people from out of town and out of state, okay, they typically come in, they're in like, we're coming in on Tuesday. We want to see a bunch of houses. You showed me, you sent me, Steve, you emailed me a bunch of houses. We want to see these 10 houses, and we found these 3 on Zillow. Okay, so I'm going to try to come up with a schedule. And if it just so happens, I'm sorry to tell you that if it just so happens that we want to see your house at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and we have no access and we can't get in, it's going to be a big red X, and I'm not going to show your house because I've got a schedule that I got to keep. I've got an agenda that I got to keep with my buyer to make sure that they're happy. So that lack of access to your property is going to be another major issue. Unrealistic expectations. So let's face the facts. The people that are trying to sell their house on their own think that, number one, they can do it. They understand the market. They understand the competition, and they understand the pricing and the marketing. Meh. Not really. They don't. People not in the business don't understand the competition, don't understand the process and procedures that it takes to sell a house. I'm sorry to say, I mean, it's how many. I'm a mechanical engineer. Okay, I was raised and trained and educated as a mechanical engineer. I don't even tune my car anymore. For crying out loud, and I take it to a professional. If I needed a filling filled, I'm going to take it to a professional. I'm going to go to a professional dentist to do my tooth, to do my teeth. Same thing goes here. Unrealistic expectations. People who you may be a marketing person. Okay, you may be a marketing person. You may be vice president or director of marketing for your company, but the truth is, selling your home is totally something different. Okay, so unrealistic expectations in terms of selling price and time that's going to take, and the marketing that's required is another pitfall that for your typical for sale by owner seller is going to have to face. And number 4.5, agent avoidance. What do I mean by this? When you're a for sale by owner seller and you're trying to sell your house on your own, you don't know all the paperwork. You don't know the rules and regs and paperwork. It's on the Trek website, and you can get forms from the Trek website, but you don't necessarily know how to fill them out. You don't know what they mean. You don't know what all the little blanks mean, etc. And you don't know you essentially, sorry to tell you, not to be insulting, but you don't understand all the ins and outs. So if a agent brought a buyer to your home, and you guys came up with a deal, what's going to happen is typically that agent is going to do 99% of the paperwork for the house, okay, for probably a lower commission. And what your typical agent, okay, is going to do is they're going to try to avoid FISBOs, because they know they're going to get paid less. It's a business. It's an industry, and it's a business. They're going to get paid less for doing more work. Okay, and so your typical agent out there is going to avoid the FISBO. Their buyer may come up and say, "Hey, I want to see the one on 123 Main Street. It's a for sale by owner. I saw it in Zillow." And they'll take them there if that's what they want, but they're going to try to avoid that because they're going to have to do a lot of extra work for a lower amount of money. And that's what it basically comes down to. I hope that was helpful. FISBOs are a fascinating topic. We've been kind of studying them to some degree, for years and years. But FISBOs are a fascinating topic, and we love working with FISBOs because we understand their mindset and their philosophy, and we try to kind of get them over the hump. Next week, we're going to talk about tips for first-time homebuyers. This is another great topic. We love first-time homebuyers. Another great topic next week. This is Steve DePoe for the Rose Realty team. I'm going to bounce.